In this video, I'm going to show you how to make $1,000 a day. Hey, my name is Maik Peters, and on my channel, I teach you how to turn your freelance self-employment into a real business. If you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Let's start right now. Have you ever thought about how it would be to make $1,000 a day? Do you have any idea how to get there? I mean, really making it though. Income just for yourself, not selling something for $1,000 and then banking 75 bucks. I'm talking about the real buck, $1,000 in your pocket. All this will be true for any occupation that can be done as a freelancer. Project manager, software developers, designers, controllers, etc. But for the sake of this video, let's concentrate on PLC programmers and robot programmers. Especially for you guys that are here to learn PLC programming on my channel, you are closer than you think. Do you know that here in the United States, but as well as in Europe, the average rate of a PLC programmer, and I'm talking about the base rate, is $65 an hour? If you calculate a 10-hour day together with like overtime and everything, maybe even with like double time depending on what days you work, you easily end up with $100 an hour. Easy. But how do you get there? Let's say you work as a maintenance tech with some experience in either PLC programming or robot programming. You can do one of two things. First, get with a line or machine builder and gather more skills, and most of all, get in front of more people. And here I'm talking about more vendors, more programmers, more customers, and then show off your skills. I'm pretty sure that if you work in a manufacturing environment, every once in a while you have new machines being integrated, new lines being integrated, and you always have those like contractors coming on site. You have the vendors coming on site with their people, and then you talk to them because you are the responsible person of the customer in that case. So what you do is this: you show them your skills, you make friends, you stay in contact, get personal phone numbers and stuff like that. In my experience, they're all looking for new programmers all the time. If you feel confident enough, try to get them to introduce you to their project managers or their HR department and try to get a job with them. If you know what you're doing, you will find yourself in a new position in no time. But here's a big catch. Be prepared to travel a lot in the next few years. Extensive travel is the #1 reason why not very many people want to work for a line builder as a programmer. You're gonna be on the road most of your time. You still here? Okay. Here's what to do and here's what not to do. For the next year or two, gather as much skills and knowledge and experience as somehow possible. And also get in front of as many people as you even can. I'm talking about project managers, programmers, customers, other vendors of your employer's customer, and other programmers. By the way, if you're already working for a line or machinery builder, you can jump to this point right away. And here is what not to do. And this is very important, even more important than what to do. Here's what not to do. Listen to me carefully here, okay? This is the most important thing. Rule #1, never ever offer any of your employer's customers your services as a freelancer on the side, or tell them you'd quit your job and work for them as a freelancer. Rule #1, as a soon-to-be business owner or freelancer, never betray anyone or lie to anyone. You only have one reputation and you can't get a new one. Most industries are very small worlds in itself, and people talk, word goes around pretty quickly. Once your reputation is done, no one wants to do business with you anymore. Business is about trust. And if people don't trust you, they won't do business with you. Always honor all contracts you get into. No matter with whom, honor all contracts. Most employers will have clauses in their contracts with you that state that you are not allowed to do any business with your employer's customers for a set time of, let's say, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, or whatever you agree to. After that period, you can do business with whomever you want. But in that set amount of time, do not do business with anyone. But here's the thing. Do you see how important it will be to keep contact with people that work for your employer's customer on a regular basis, on a basis of like a personal relationship rather than a B2B relationship? Don't offer them anything, but keep in contact with them, that when your non-compete agreement expires, you still have the contacts, and then you can offer your services. You see, networking is the #1 skill you need besides your main skills. If you have enough contacts and you feel confident that you can deliver on your promises, go ahead, be a freelancer. Offer your services as a freelancer to whomever you want, except the people where you have agreements with your former employers or any other people that you are not allowed to compete with. Even as a freelancer, if you work for people, they are often coming with contracts around the corner that state that you cannot do business with their clients. Let's say someone books you in as a subcontractor, and you will have a contract with them that states that for a set amount of, let's say, 24 months, you cannot do any business with their client. And you should honor that as well. So you're a freelancer now. You quoted a job, but now you have to keep in mind that you have to have enough money in the bank to make it for about 2 months without getting paid. Then, because in the most cases, you work for a month and then you bill your work and then you are on a net 30 term. That is the standard rate for freelancers, net 30, meaning you work for a month, bill the job, then have to wait 30 days until you get paid. And here's another thing you should keep in mind. The bigger your clients are, the more likely it is that those 30 days will be exceeded. Not because, they don't want to pay you, it's just because, they have their like accounts payable department. They have so much other things to do that it might be that you have to ask them 3 or 4 times until you really get paid, and that might end up being not 30 days but 45 or even 60. Always keep this in mind. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that especially when you do go on a job somewhere on job site, you need a hotel too, so you have like travel expenses and lodging expenses and stuff like that. You do have to have that money up front too, so be aware just quoting a job and getting a contract is only half of the deal. You have to have a little bit of money to start. Or here's a little trick though, for at least for the hotel expenses, you can always negotiate something with your customer, your client, to make them lay out the costs for that. And here's how that works. You quote them a job, and then the hotel expenses you would just use double of what the normal rate is. And if they complain about that, you just say, hey, you know what? Why don't you just provide the hotel? That way, you are in full control of the cost. Most likely, your customers will do that. If they're not 100% dumb, they will know why you do that, and they will just lay out the hotel for you, so you do not have to have this money up front and lay it out. Always make sure that you quote jobs in a way that it fits your situation. Now, you're making $1,000 a day. Great. You have your first contract and it goes on, let's say, for a month or 2 or 3. Always make sure that you save at least 50% of the money you make for gaps that will occur. Because most likely it is like this. Someone buys, let's say, 1,000 hours from you. And you are counting that you will stay on the job for those 1,000 hours. Well, let's say after 600 hours, they say, hey, you know what? The work's done, or something else happens. Our customer, meaning like your customer's customer, doesn't want us on site anymore. We don't have anything to do for you anymore. Goodbye. Then, what then? You will have a huge gap because you didn't prepare for this. You were under the assumption that you will have a job for at least a few more months. Now you have nothing, and you have nothing lined up because you're a freelancer, you're just by yourself. You cannot sell yourself twice because you are on a time schedule, just meaning you're selling just your time. You only have your time one time. So therefore, you have the gap. So make always sure that you save a lot of money for those gaps, because those gaps might be 3 months or longer. It depends on the time, depends on your network though. You might be able to like just call someone and say, hey, you know what, I'm free now, do you have something? But in my experience, I started like that too. Even if you have a good network and there's a lot of jobs out there, you might get requests for yourself, multiple requests for yourself at the same time, and you say no to most of them and just take one, and then go back after one contract is over and ask them if they still need you. They most likely hired someone else, so that job is gone. Therefore, you will still have a gap. So therefore, it is so important. The bigger your network, the better. But also, let's face it, if you as a freelancer work alone, you will always have gaps, and therefore you need the money. Also, make sure that for the next job, you at least have enough money for travel expenses for a month, or at least have a credit card ready that is not maxed out, that you have enough funds available to get a rental car, get a hotel, pay for a flight or something like that. There you go, you made it. $1,000 a day. If you want to know how to make $1,000 a day without even going to work, hang on. I'll post a video down in the description and see you in the next video. Thank you.